Welcome to Live, Let, Thrive, a podcast about the Airbnb life, the share economy, and everything in between. Here are your hosts, Micah and Steve.
Hello.
And welcome back to another exciting episode
of Live,
Let Thrive.
What's up, Micah? Man,
I'm chilling, Stevie Stacks. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. A little under the weather yesterday. I feel better today. It's just a little one-day thing, but I'm ready to roll, ready to have some fun, talk some shop today on your favorite short-term, mid-term, long-term rental podcast in the world. You know who we are. Live, Let, Thrive, baby. And this is episode 274 coming at you from Fort Worth and Arlington, Texas.
Let's go. And speaking of Texas, we got the Rangers in the World Series.
Ooh, we back, baby.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. Yeah, the game was last night. The Rangers won. Sorry if there's any Houston fans out there. Hey, half my family is all Houston fans. So we were talking a lot of smack on the Facebook, the last week or so. So it was fun. One of my cousins, Lisa, she's gonna have to get a Texas Rangers tattoo. So it's all good, man. Made a little wager. At least I don't have to get Astros tattoo. So it's gonna be it's cool because we have me and you got some properties around the area. So we're gonna have hopefully a couple of nights, 2 or 3 nights of some World Series pricing going on, because they're gonna be playing over there by in Arlington by some of the places we got. So I'm happy. I got my prices bumped up a little bit, and we'll see what happens, man. Go Rangers.
Yeah, speaking of Go Rangers, man, Airbnb. Speaking of, we're talking about the Rangers. I also want to talk. Has anybody seen like World Series rates jump like that? Like people booking for the World Series? Because I haven't seen it.
It's funny because I'm in a group, right? So I do some arbitrages in Dallas, and the person who owns that particular building, she's pretty cool. She linked us up with the a WhatsApp group with people that they have a building in Arlington too. It's not exactly a high-end building, but it's a building in Arlington that they let people do Airbnb short-term rentals. And on that group, they were like, this was the last series. Whenever 2 series ago, when the Rangers made the playoffs, they were like, "Hey, everybody, bump up your prices for Rangers games here and stuff." And I was like, and I think it was the first team that came here was Orioles. Orioles came to town, right? Because the Rangers played all their games on the road at first, and then they had finally one playoff game here against the Baltimore Orioles. And they're like, "Everybody bump up your prices $300 or whatever." These are like 1-bedroom condos, 2-bedroom maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I was like, and someone was like, said the same question as you. Can you get that much for a 1-bedroom over here and for a Rangers game, And I chimed in. I was like, yeah, maybe if the Yankees were coming to town or something. But I think Baltimore Orioles, they're gonna travel down here, especially when the Rangers were up like 2-0 on them or whatever it was. I was like, yeah, they're probably not gonna make the flight down here to watch them lose to the Rangers. Baltimore Orioles, Yankees maybe, Red Sox maybe, they travel for that stuff. And but I don't. It's a good question. Now, playoff football, any Cowboys game. Cowboys is a worldwide team, right? So everybody from the world comes to watch the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's a guarantee.
Rangers is more of a local, and spread out a little bit.
That's
a couple of surrounding states, maybe some Rangers fans, but mostly it's Texas. Mostly in this area, because the bottom half of the state is all Houston Astros. Yeah. So it's like it's more localized, whereas the Cowboys games, they bring people from everybody anyways, any week, anytime they play, good or bad, playoffs or not. But baseball, I think it's very dependent on the team coming, and be it if it's the Phillies or the other team. They're playing tonight at Game 7.
Diamondbacks. You would want the Phillies
and Diamondbacks, because Arizona, I don't think they're diehard baseball fans over there. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
But at the same time, I think because we also have to look at, because I'm looking at, will they travel for the World Series? Phillies, I think they'll travel. I think they will, but I don't know how much that draw is going to be, because like you said, I think you hit it on the head. A huge portion of here is Rangers fans, man. Because like my coworkers are talking about going, I'm not, it's going to be packed over there, man. But I'm trying to I'll be interested to gauge like how much this World Series is going to pull in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Be interesting.
Yeah, because like if it's a World Series over there in New York, New York's a world baseball team. Everybody loves New York, so they travel to go see the Yankees play in a playoffs or World Series. But I don't know. It's a good question. I got them bumped up a little. I'm not stupid crazy. Like I'm not putting it at 2009 or nothing. I'm just putting a couple hundy, couple 2 or 3 hundy.
Yeah, us talking about this leads me right into the next subject. Have you noticed Airbnb's been blocking your dates for like Halloween and stuff?
Yeah, they've been doing that the last few years. Yeah, for the Halloween parties.
Parties. Nah. Shout out to Heba. She we're in the same mastermind group. She made a good point. She goes, they're bumping down these. She said they're closing down the listings, and I think this is what it is. They don't want to play insurance claims. So Airbnb was never into the whole we're against parties. We just don't want to pay out the claim that parties brings, right? We don't want to pay out the claims because if you've noticed, if you guys have noticed, like, fuck it, we'll keep it real. I'm gonna just say the names. People like Superhog, Airbnb claim, Airbnb air cover. These people are very stringent on paying out lately. And I'm noticing, and you guys may have noticed the homeowner's insurance is starting to go up significantly. So what I've been hearing, and I'll shout out to my friend Nicole, who's in my real estate group. She brought up the good point. She said, actually, if you look it up, a lot of insurance companies are pulling out of the DFW because of its high risk. And I talked to Heba, and she was like, yo, the same thing happened to me in New Jersey. She goes, they didn't want to cover fires because there was so many fires that they pulled out of New Jersey. A lot of insurance companies start pulling out of New Jersey. So we are starting to see that right now in the DFW. So I don't know with the insurance thing. A few people were saying just drop it all together, but I'm like, I ain't about to just drop no insurance. But it's an interesting play because one lady said I would drop my insurance as my house was paid off, and she was like, I just take all the money, however much I need to put it in the pot to the side. But I'm just like, what if that shit burns down?
Yeah,
that's my mind. But we were gonna ask our mentor about it. We didn't get to ask him, but I wanted to get his opinion on it. But yeah, people are saying like, once their house is paid off, just drop the insurance. I'm like,
no, that's stupid.
I'm like, you can. That's how my grandpa lost his ass. Lost a lot of assets. He had shit paid off, didn't put insurance on it. I was like, yeah, that's wild, man. But I don't know, man. But yeah, insurance is going up and it's going crazy too.
Here, the big thing is hail damage.
Yeah.
Every hailstorm, these guys be knocking on your door, right? Calling you, knocking on your door left and right.
Let me look at your roof.
Yeah, let me look at your roof for free. We'll get it. Boom, boom, boom. And
drill a hole while they're up there.
Yeah, man. Hail damage. I guess tornadoes. Houston's built in a swamp, so it's flooding over there.
Yeah.
So it's yeah. Oh, the hurricanes too on the coast. Yeah. Yeah, we got it all here in Texas, man. So Tornado Alley and Hurricane Alley, man. We get it all here. But, so yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so I will tell people, make sure you just ain't dependent on Airbnb because they will block your holiday dates. Be very careful on that.
Yeah. Definitely. Maybe of course VRBO. Everybody on the show should know already have VRBO and what's the one?
I've been getting a lot.
TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor keeps hitting us up, man, big time. Yeah. You've been getting a lot through what?
Whimstay. But man, a lot of those TripAdvisor people are straight through Google Vacation Rentals.
Okay, that's where I'm getting ours.
Yeah,
I'm getting a lot.
Yeah. Google Vacation Rentals is where a lot of TripAdvisors are starting to come from.
But Whimstay, you keep saying that, and I haven't got on there yet. Why is Whimstay so popular now? I never heard of it before.
I don't know why they're popular, but people are booking through it. I just turned a channel on and Hostfully, and they've been going. Google Vacation Rentals, TripAdvisor, Whimstay. And of course, having your own direct feed.
Yeah, Mike. I want to get Mike back on the show because he's talking about. He sent it to our group. I guess Mr. B&B. You remember Mr. B&B?
Yeah, we talked about this years ago, but they didn't grow now.
Is LGBTQ friendly bookings, whatever. I've never got a booking from one, and we have places in LGBTQ communities, right? And but Mike Brown was sharing with the thing. This guy was like gonna book from there, and he was like, "Well, is the is the patio enclosed or something like that?" He goes, "Yeah, it's got privacy. So I like to be naked on the patio. Is that a problem?" And Mike Brown was like, no, I don't, not, whatever. Yeah, I don't know what he was saying. He's like, "Will you be there?" He's like, you don't remember that in the WhatsApp group? He was saying,
I think he said that, a while ago. I was like, yeah.
Hey man,
Float your boat.
whatever floats your boat. But I've never got any inquiries from Mr. B&B.
I got one from that 420 place a long time ago, but I think they're kind of like Mr. B&B. They don't really have the clientele. I'm interested to see if some of these places actually start blowing up, especially with people being more conscious of midterms and going direct. So I am interested to see like how these places are going to fare in the upcoming months. You know what I mean?
You know what I saw the other day? This on Facebook, one of the Facebook groups, right? And it was I forgot what city it was, but it said yeah, so and so property over here, here's the details, and it said MTR approved. And I was like, wait a minute, isn't 30 days plus approved everywhere? I mean, it might not be for long, but it's always been the case in rentals. But they said MTR approved. So we had a little technical glitch, but we're back. And I was gonna bring up something. We were talking about some arbitrages, and I call these people. I came up with the term arbitrage pushers. And you probably know where I'm going with this, right? Because it's been a big deal now is people out there trying to push these arbitrages on people. And what I saw, man, and I'll tell you, we have a client that we manage for, right?
Yeah.
Out there in Joshua Tree. And so he wanted to have a call today because the numbers weren't looking good. But I think I might have brought it up on the show before. His house is super basic compared to like, these houses in Joshua Tree that have Disneyland on the front yard and shit, right? They got hot tubs and pools and indoor water parks and all kinds of shit at Joshua Tree. So I'm like, dude, it's oversaturation, plus you got to come with the amenities. You don't have very many amenities. You don't got really an outdoor fire pit or nothing, or a pool or a cowboy pool or hot tubs. You don't got. So it's gonna be tough, man. I'm just trying to put it to you straight. And he was just kind of mentioning, when I was getting into this arbitrage, the guy that was arbitraging it to me, he was asking me to, he said, yeah, you can put it in your corporation, that's fine, but you have to you back it with your own name. What's it called? It's kind of like co-sign for your LLC or whatever it is, right? And he said, I thought that was a bit strange. And it's like, he goes, yeah, he goes, when can I start? And I can have it fully furnished. He goes, yeah, you can have it fully furnished. You can start as soon as the guy that's doing it, right now, his lease is up and blah, blah, blah. He thought it was like a little red flag. Oh, someone else was doing an Airbnb at this place. And
know where this is going.
Yeah. So, he's doing bad numbers. We were telling him what he could do to help the situation, to stop the bleeding, because he has this place until April. Thank God that he didn't sign no 3-year lease or nothing crazy, but he has it through April. And I was just telling him, okay, this is how we can stop the bleeding through the, until then. Hopefully it picks up, blah, blah, blah. But it got to the point where it became this thing where we were doing this arbitrage, us or people before us were arbitraging out of places without necessarily the people knowing what's going on. And then finally they started becoming hip with it. And then we got, we sharpened our scripts to make it more appealing. And they were like, okay, cool, you can do that at my place. And that's why they saw the benefits to it. Then it got to the point, let's say at a place like Joshua Tree, where a lot of people started going there, where they're like, okay, so these arbitragers are going to pay more for rent than someone off the street, right? And they want to put it in their corporation, that's fine, but I want them to back it with their own name, so it'll ding their credit if they try to screw me over. And they got the taste of that arbitrage money themselves. Not that they were doing arbitrage, they were providing the arbitrage for people, and they were making like a few hundred more than they would by just renting it to mom, a little family or whatever. And so whenever the previous arbitrager was coming due, he put it out there for some other arbitrager to take it over, even though the previous guy was not successful. Obviously, why would he be jumping out, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm calling these people arbitrage pushers. And it's not wrong with it. They just saw an opportunity, like we saw opportunity. But the tide usually, or the scale usually tips the other way eventually, because people becoming hip to the game and say, oh, I can make money off these wide-eyed, arbitragers that are out there thinking they can make some money off of my property. But who makes out in that scenario? Is the person that owns the real estate.
Yeah.
The person that owns the property. So these arbitrage pushers, now they might not be able to do it for long because of so many people are hopping out of the game, but they saw an opportunity and they did it for a while. And now, it's trying to shift a little bit the other way, but that's all I wanted to bring up. Arbitrage pushers, it's a big deal right now.
This thing funny you bring that up, because I went and met with a client in Allen that I was possibly going to manage for, probably going to back out of it, that I was possibly going to manage for. And she kept saying, she was like, all these management companies, they come up to me, tell me how great they are, but I just really want to find someone I can work with. She was like, I want to work with you. And then, I always throw a few things out at like owners. This is one tip for you guys. Like because the place it's a nice place, freshly done. But aesthetically, for a short-term or midterm rental, it just doesn't cut the cake. Like, you got this wall in the living room and a 32-inch TV's up there. So it's like, yo, come on now. Then you got this big, nice room, king-size bed, right in front of it, a 32-inch TV. I'm like, bro, you got to get some 55s, some 60s up in here. You got to start attracting family. Then she got 2 bunk beds, and I'm just like, yo. No bunk beds, bro. But she got 2 bunk beds. So I'm like, you're attracting kids. You know what I'm saying? I already know. I'm like, you're getting kids. And then what I was really trying to do, so yesterday I had a call. I was like, hey, I'm going to get back with you tomorrow and see if we're going to do it. So we kind of analyzed it. I shot it out to my mastermind group, and I was just like, and it really made me realize I'd rather just deal with people who are setting up new units than deal with someone who's already doing it. But she did say exactly what you were saying. She goes, the whole time I'm trying to find management, she gets all these people calling her asking if they can arbitrage. Because that's like the thing right now. And especially in her area, because like you said, Dallas is about to get banned. So once Dallas is banned, everyone's going to skirt to these outer cities. They're going to the Planos, Frisco's, Arlington, if you're allowed in the entertainment district. They're going to Richardson. All these areas are now about to start getting a wind of it. So I think whatever area, and I know McKinney is an area that already has short-term rental regulations in place. Whoever regulates it is going to make the big bucks here shortly, because all these other places that are shutting it down, they're going to lose that economy and it's going to go somewhere else. So I was like, I see why you're getting those calls. People are trying to push arbitrage, and they're trying to get arbitrage in places that they're allowed to do it. But in the meantime, we are going to make some big money with these people being shut down in about 30 something days here or so, about 30, 40 days. So we'll be making some big money once that happens. But yeah, the arbitrage thing, people are pushing it. People are selling them. You know how that goes. I've never heard of someone having a happy arbitrage that they bought. Usually they got ripped off or something else. So we're interested to see how the game is going to go.
So she owns the house.
Yeah, she owns the house.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but it's certain aesthetic things that, people who aren't really just in the short-term rental side, she kind of looks at it, certain things as a long-term landlord would look at. Like, she wants plants watered and stuff, which that's cool and all, but because basically she's losing money on the property. That's basically the gist of it. And I looked at her calendar. I was like, okay, she just has a calendar malfunction. And then there's just things aesthetically she just needs to do to the property to upgrade it. But when you're losing money on a property, you get that fear, like, I ain't spending no more money on this property. You know what I mean? You're like, I ain't spending no more money. But, and that brings me to the point of when you talk to people who want management and they want to be hands-on, I don't necessarily think they want management. They probably just need a consultant. So I always ask people, do you need a management company, or are you just looking for a consultant because you want to be hands-on? And you just need someone to teach you how to get out of the day-to-day operations. So what I've been doing is, hey, if you want management, Here's the management, but I can't consult you for this fee, and I just charge them an hourly rate. Because I think that's the better thing. Instead of wasting your time, this person really doesn't want management. They just want to wait. They need to know how to remove themselves from the business, and some of them aren't ready yet, so they just need a consultant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's true. Man, I was speaking of McKinney. You brought it up. I was there the other last weekend for a wedding.
Really, you were in McKinney?
That's a haul, dude.
Long,
that's a long
drive,
way.
bro. Man,
From my house, it was like an hour and 4 minutes from my house, right? And these friends of ours, they're from Arlington, so they had invited some Arlington friends. And said, man, it took them like over an hour and a half to get there. It was so bad, and they happened to be around 4:00 too, so you hit the traffic and stuff. So McKinney, yeah, I have a buddy that lives there. He said it's growing leaps and bounds, but I guess everything is, right.
Yeah, it is. Anything up north, man, is moving.
So Allen, do they have regulations or not yet?
I don't. No. They have a registration process. They do have a registration process. I need to look up and see, do they pay taxes to Airbnb? That's usually my number one signal. But they do have a registration process. And then okay, so I ran the numbers on Allen. The interesting thing about Allen is the short-term rental numbers are low. Like, it was only like, I seen one property that was average to do 67,000. And I'm like, Allen, bro, all the IT corridors up there, you know what I mean? Like, you're right by Plano, Frisco, all that. You just go east on the other side of 75, you're damn near in Frisco. So yeah, it's some opportunity up there, but yeah, I don't think they have I think they have a registration process. So I don't know what the regulations on that mean, but I would like to be anywhere up north. If you can get something up north, you're going to win. But I am looking for anybody who, if you're a new owner and you want to get into short-term rental, you want a management company, you don't want to touch it, holla at me. I'll get into those. But people have been operating, you got to, I'll send them to Steve.
Yeah, send me those, the high maintenance ones.
Yeah, he's a good shoulder to cry on. He said he'll let you cry on the shoulder.
Send me that Allen lady with a bunk bed, 2 sets of bunk beds. I'll take it.
Yeah. I'll let you know, because I told Mike I was sending it to him, but I was like, hey, either you or Steve can have this, because I'm like, ain't my cup of tea.
Speaking of tea, salute.
Salute.
I was gonna say real quick.
Yeah.
Speaking of regulations, because you mentioned, I saw a post on one of the, I don't know if it was Dallas STRA or one of those Dallas Airbnb groups, short-term rental groups.
Yeah.
That this lady got an email, right?
And
Ooh, I won't from the city of Dallas.
Ooh.
And so I won't read it for verbatim, but the gist of it, she explained. Well, she said it was a back and forth with them. He's like talking about, hey, we see you on the sites. You need to be. You have until December to get shut. To take take your property off the sites or whatever. And she's like, well, I'm on the sites, but I'm 30 days plus. And she says she was plugged into the paying her taxes or hot taxes and everything. She has a house up there, and they said, well, I need to see a screenshot proof that and she sent him a screenshot proof, and I guess it said 30 days plus corporate, whatever.
Yeah.
And you said after that, they just canceled her account altogether, where she can't send no more money in or nothing. They just canceled her Dallas account. That was it. She was like, they just canceled it.
Oh, well, that's a good thing. But so she doesn't take any reservations under 30 days?
Well, according to her. Yeah. But they just canceled her Dallas account. I guess she had already made an account with Dallas, and they maybe she was when it was legal, right? But then now, she showed them proof that she's not over 30 days. I mean, not under 30 days. And
so if she goes under 30, she don't have an account.
So she goes over 30.
No. So I'm saying, though, if she goes under 30, meaning if she ever says, forget it, I'm going to take a 2-week stay, she doesn't have an account. So now they can flag her.
Yeah, they can, fine her and stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy. They canceled her account. So they canceled her Mooney Revs account, the account to pay the taxes.
Right.
Oh, that's how they're monitoring it then. Crazy, man. Yeah, see, remember we were saying, like, damn, you passed your data over. They got your information now. You know what I mean? Now they got your listing and all that. That's interesting. But okay, so funny thing is, Mooney Revs has been sending me emails saying, hey, just letting you know, the new laws go into effect in December, but they know we're in a legal spot. So it was just like letting everyone know. So yeah, it's starting to, I think that's why so many people are hopping out. Cause I mean, we seen one lady selling 8 bedrooms worth of furniture. I was like, damn. So yeah, but I think it came from multiple properties. But yeah, it's starting to take its toll. It's starting to take its toll for sure.
Yeah, I mentioned probably on a previous cast, I have a client that has a townhome and she's trying to get it plugged into the city as we speak. And the person who she's talking to, it's like the city don't even know their own rules kind of thing, you know. But they say, oh, it sounds like it should be a fine deal and I don't see any problems with it. Even Mike Brown had told us a few things about now that those ones shouldn't be able to, but it, according to this, whoever she spoke to the city, she should be able to go get someone to inspect it and then get it approved. So yeah, man, it's gonna be a mess, but we'll see. I got to get all mine plugged in before. This is to me, it's a gamble, but it's a calculated gamble because I have it on my leases that in case they do shut us down, we can hop out of the space, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's worth it to try to stay in Dallas if you are already there and you can get a permit because so many people are going to jump out, right?
Hell yeah, it's worth it. Hell yeah, without a doubt. I mean, if you're in a legal area, I would say yeah, it's worth it. But if you're in an illegal area, unless you have like your ducks in a row where you got, hey, I know this midterm rental client's coming. You know what I mean? If you have it like that, I'm for sure like, yeah, stay. Because it's gonna be. But man, my bad. One thing you said was you were like midterm rentals are gonna get saturated. I think they are too, because what happens is when stuff like this happens, the people who are in it to win it, they're gonna get more savvy. You know what I mean? So when they get savvy, they are gonna saturate that midterm rental market.
And I'll put a caveat to that. Maybe on the when it first changes, they might do that because that they have no choice. Well, I gotta turn in 30 days plus to try it. But once they go a whole month without getting a booking, that's when everybody's just gonna like peace out, man. I can't afford this.
See, I don't know if I don't know if that's gonna happen because when I may say they're gonna go into midterms, I think they're gonna get it savvy into all these other programs that me and you use. Like me, you, Mike, the stuff we use, like email marketing. But now this is I think so. The ones who are in it to win it, not the mom.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the mom and pop. I'm not even focusing on them. We talking about the leaders. That's who we own. So they're those people. I think they will get savvy enough to stay in it. And then I also think they will start hopping on these other platforms, getting savvy on, I don't have to be Airbnb. You know what I mean? Because I don't think it's nothing to flip your list into a 30-day and then focus on the other platforms that you can get what you want on a monthly basis on. Because, like up north, there ain't enough housing like short-term rental, midterm rental housing. Because like that lady I was going to manage for, man, I got a hit in Allen that day. I was like, damn. So, but I was like, it's too many moving parts. I'm like, eh. So, I might go get another one in Allen just to have that big book, big reservation. But yeah, I think it's going to get saturated, the midterm space. And then you might have the people, the mom and pop people are always going to fall off. But I think the professional people are going to stay. I just don't know how many that is. But I am interested to see how many of these units, like in apartment complexes, are going to have to hop out because they're at that 3% cap. Oh, let me tell you about an interesting story about that 3% cap. So this apartment complex that me and Mike are at, they're struggling with vacancy really bad. So I went there at night last week I went there. It was late at night. I was actually coming from the Plano Allen property and I was like, let me just stop at the apartment. Bro, parking lots, dead, empty, 8:00 at night, nobody.
So nobody getting towed no more.
Ain't nobody to tow. Shit, it was like 6 tow trucks in the parking lot looking for somebody to tow. So 2 weeks prior to this, I went again. I'm like, maybe it was just a fluke, right? Parking lot's dead empty at night, 8:00. I'm like, damn, bro, they're struggling with vacancy. Because remember, they tried to sell me and Mike more units, like 5 units, but we were kind of like passing up on them. We felt kind of bad because we kind of yanked them around. So, but we kind of sent them this email to kind of clear it up. We basically let them know because there's 2 other operators in there, and we have 8 units in there, I believe. And then they have these operators have a couple of other ones. We let them know, hey, I think we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. I said that we let them know, hey, we can't pick up more units because there's somebody else operating in your building. And I'm like, just letting you know, the city might come knocking again. They haven't replied because they're still trying to give out units on a short-term rental basis, but I think they pulled back because 1, they're at a cap, and 2, man, I think this building is going to go into foreclosure. Yeah.
Damn, you should buy it.
I could. It's 300 units.
Oh.
See, think about it, and that's another thing I want people to think about. It's 345 units, and only 3% can be short-term rentals. That's like 10 doors. You know how much of the city is about to get wiped out by this? Yeah. Dallas is about to get wiped out, bro. Like, it's a bunch of stuff that's about to get wiped out.
Yeah, those units that we're in Dallas, that was their whole business model, is to just fill them up with Airbnbers. Oh, there's so many people wanting to do this right now. Just fill them up with Airbnbers. Ooh. And they're even building new buildings, or renovating new buildings to do this model. And so the music's going to stop. Yeah, it's going to be pretty bad.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's about like people are about to get wiped out. Like even if you just think about it, if you had a 10 unit, only one of them can be a short-term rental?
No, that's 10%.
No,
it can't be under anything 20 or under. They said you can't have. Yeah.
So it has to be 34 and up, I think, right?
I thought it was just anything over 20.
So anything over 20. So what's 3% of 20?
So
it's like,
so if you do 1 unit, that's 5%. That doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, so it has to be more than that. They capped it, so it's
you're right. 30. Yeah, you're right. It would have to be 30 units, and then it'd be 1 unit out of 30. It'd be 3%.
Yeah.
That's
crazy. You know how many people about to get wiped out? See, that's all I was saying. Like me and Mike.
I don't know why they did that 3% rule though. That doesn't make any sense.
What? Well,
and that's the
hotel
people made them put that in there.
Yeah.
Because that's just.
But think about it though. If you're in right now, bro, you're about to make a killing. You're about to limit the supply
of Airbnbs.
Yeah. So if you limit the supply, people are going to have 2 choices. They're going to be like, okay, I'm going to go to a hotel. And if the supply of apartments are limited, from what I've seen, most of the time, the people who stay in apartments are the ones who would usually stay in a hotel. The ones who stay in a house are usually the ones just traveling with family. I'm just talking about on the OTAs, on the Airbnbs, VRBOs. Those are the ones who will stay in they're trying to travel with family. So I think there's about to be a lot of opportunity in Dallas. A lot.
3% opportunity.
Yeah. If you're part of that 3%, you in it.
Man, moving right along. Oh, Thursday, by the way, real quick, Thursday, which this show is gonna be dropping tomorrow, Wednesday, the 25th. Thursday, the 26th of October, 2023. If it's an older show, we're gonna have our meetup here in Dallas. Our booze and brews, or brews and what's it, brews and booze or whatever. It's like a Halloween meetup. We're gonna have a little fun, get together, talk some MTR shop over here in Dallas. Look us up on Live Let Thrive's Facebook page. It's on there. It should be anywhere Live Let Thrive is. I have my new Twittered on our website too. But yeah, come out and hang out with the Live Let Thrivers. You said you couldn't make it Thursday?
No. I'm gonna be
okay.
I have kids.
Okay. I'll be able to go. Mike Brown's gonna be there. I got, so some of the Live Let Thrive Mafia are gonna be over there. So come hang out, have some drinks, have some snacks, and then talk some STR shop. Do some networking. Networking is good for you, man.
Hey, man, bro. I mean, it's good hits just off networking, man.
Man, it's funny. I got you remember Shelby Osborne? Well, she's Shelby Osborne Johnson now. Remember Shelby?
I believe so. She came on the show a long time ago, right?
Yeah, EXP agent. Plus, she did buy-in holds, buy-in flips, buy-in all kinds of stuff. And she's a machine, man. She's an ex-military. She's awesome. But she came on our show and just blew us away. She was amazing. And she put a post the other day. She's like, guys, most of the podcasts that I've been on, and I've been on a lot, are gone now. And she said, it just goes to show that if you stick with something, then you're going to be successful. If you keep going and don't stop, like us with the real estate or whatever. I mean, hers is more inspirational, what I'm saying. But she goes, if you just keep going and hang in there, you just outlast everybody. You're going to be successful. And so, of course, I chimed in. I was like, yeah. And you were the best, and Live, Let Thrive was by far your best show you've been on. She goes, oh, yeah, big time. Or whatever. She gave us a shout out. So, it is true, man. I mean, how many people start a podcast? How many people stick with it? How many people start anything and stick with it? So that's the main thing, man. It's cool to see real people, real inspirational people that are really doing it and that keep doing it. And don't fall for all the gimmicks and all the hype and all the craziness. You get all these hucksters out there, whatever. But you're gonna take some L's, man. Just like the Rangers, man. A couple of years ago, they were the worst team in the whole freaking league, and now they're going to the World Series. Why? They stuck with it, and they kept going, and they got a little bit better every single day, every single week, every single year, and then now they're in the goals of the World Series. So I just love it. Perseverance is the sweat and hard work and perseverance is no substitutes for that.
I agree, man. Like, especially now, like, and the stuff we've been talking about the last few months, with bands coming and the stuff we talk about on this show is nothing but perseverance, right? It's about, hey, pivoting. How do you pivot? When they did the cleaning fee thing, we pivoted. By the way, we need to talk about that. The cleaning fee thing, we pivoted. They're setting up bands, we pivoted. You just got to keep pivoting. And I think that's why a lot of people who own their properties, I think that's why they hop out of this space and go straight back to long-term rentals, because they're like, damn, I got to pivot again, because this business isn't just turnkey. We just have set up systems to make it a little bit easier on ourselves. Well, a lot bit easier on ourselves, but it's not a turnkey business like, long-term rentals usually are. So yeah, you just got to keep pivoting, man. Roll with the punches, because more changes are coming. We'll see. This insurance thing, we have to work it out. You know what I mean?
Even long-term rentals, people get burned out on that stuff too, from their houses getting trashed or bad property management, bad whatever, and then they end up selling everything. I was gonna say, so we're coming up on November, right?
Yeah.
And I saw a sign the other day for a house near me that had a for sale sign. Well, it said owner financing for sale, right? And decent house, I'd say medium mid-range house. I wouldn't say it's a McMansion. I wouldn't say it's a crappy. It's right in the middle, upper middle, and about 1,800 square foot. And so I took a picture of the sign that was out front, right? And I called them, and then I texted them. And they sent me a thing of the terms: 25,000 down for 7% interest for 20 years, and it showed the different prices. I think the mortgage payment came out to like $2,350, right? And that doesn't include your taxes and insurance. So I'm thinking with taxes and insurance, you're probably around 26, 27, you would think, a month.
Oh, say that again. What was the number?
So they want like $2,350 is the mortgage payment at 7% interest for 20 years, owner financing, right? And then they want but the taxes and insurance aside from that. So
go ahead, I hear you.
Two amounts are. So at this area, about what is it? About 4,000 or 5,000 a year. In taxes, insurance is more like 3,000 now. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or 10 grand all in with that divided by. So
what city?
Fort Worth.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're looking at 2,800 a month.
And then you got to look at the long-term tenants cover that.
No, I think.
Oh, is it a 3-bed, 2-bath?
It's a 3-2. Yeah.
So what I would do is go see if the best way to see if Section 8 covers it.
Mm-hmm. And
then if they cover it, then see what a long-term rental will cover. Because right now, this dude made a good point. Some Section 8's paying more than the market rent, while long-term tenant ain't gonna pay it. Because like you might be at 2,800 all in, and that's what the market rent is.
Mm-hmm.
If you get on like the DHA or something like that, it might be paying 3,100. So it's not the cash flow you want, but if anything ever happens, you can jump to that model.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Now, to me, I mean, like, you probably get on the regular market probably around 2,500 a month rent. That's becoming more normal now. It's so crazy.
Yeah, see, and that's bad.
How much it's gone up, man. 2,500 a month for your cookie cutter 3-2. That's pretty much getting normal around here. Who would have ever thought that?
Yeah.
But to me, some people, I mean, it's if they're gonna do the cross-seg study and try to get the big write-off, right? Try to write off $100,000 on whatever profits they made this year and pay no taxes. It might be worth it to jump on something like that, even if you're gonna break even barely or lose a couple $100 a month, you know.
Lose money?
If you're still gaining equity, you're still getting the depreciation.
But you're putting money down to get it.
25 grand. Mm-hmm.
25 grand?
But you're getting a house though.
Bad ROI.
Well, let's say you're gonna just give 25 grand to the government.
Bad ROI. You don't make 25 grand to the government. You got to learn you got to get a CPA. Yeah, 25 grand, man. You want debt because you don't pay taxes on it, but you got to know how to acquire the debt. Debt acquisition is huge right now. How do you acquire debt is huge.
And how do you acquire debt?
You can acquire debt by a refinance from a BRRRR. You can acquire debt from a subject to. Debt acquisition is huge right now. Acquiring debt with huge sums of cash. I mean, that's your strategy. With this in today's market. I mean, the winning part is, you're getting equity, but you're putting money in to get it. Forcing equity is better. You know, like fixing up something that's beat down. You could do that, but I think, you know what I think we're in a season of? You got to be a rental scientist. You got to know how to switch it up. Like, I don't care what it is at this point. Yeah, well, this podcast is about short-term, mid-term rentals, but you might have to go Section 8 if I got something that's too far in the hood. It ain't going to cash flow long-term, so I go Section 8. I have a property that's in a nice area. Short-term rental regulations are there, so I can make it a short-term rental, switch it to a mid-term rental. If you have something with a really high interest rate where you really can't cover it on long-term, I wouldn't touch it. But if you have to cover everything, you may want to look at renting by room, getting on Roomster, getting on Airbnb rooms now. I think we're in a situation where you need to be a rental scientist, because I think debt acquisition is really huge. How you're acquiring the debt is huge. Because, yeah, man, it's just you just have to know your own risk tolerance. I guess if you're California with just stacks of cash, more power to you.
Yeah, you get you a 0% interest rate if you pay in cash, right?
Yeah, kind of.
So that was interesting. I saw, and you're seeing more of that owner finance popping up here and there, you know, on the Zillows and stuff like that, because interest rates are so high, people can't afford a house. But a lot of people are doing the Pace Morby thing. They're wrapping it again. You know what I'm saying? So they're getting the subject to, and then they're going and selling the note to somebody else off that subject to a house they don't even have the mortgage on. That's pretty.
Yeah,
that's next level stuff, man.
Yeah, and I was funny thing is, I was at a real estate meetup, and this older lady, she was like, at the end of the meetup, everyone did their talking piece. She stood up. She was like, "By the way, if anyone has any houses, I buy notes. Let me know. I'll buy your note." I'm like, damn. So, and then one lady in the back, and this is a lady I was telling you about last week, 2 weeks ago, I was telling you about her. She does owner finance as the exit strategy, you know, because she's kind of diversifying her portfolio. I've seen a lot of people. Here's another thing why owner finance is huge right now. Like a lot of these older owners who have all these properties, they can't just sell them on the market as fast as they want to. So they're owner financing like 10, 20 doors.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. Yeah, I think, debt acquisition's huge right now. Actually, we need to have a whole, what is it called? We need to have a whole meetup about that debt acquisition right now.
Yeah, it reminded me as I'm reading the Elon Musk book, right?
Yeah.
And that dude's, he's the richest man on the planet. So that it's crazy the stuff that he's worth like 250 billion now. But he ain't even in it for the money. He's the most miserable mofo there is. From this book, I'm just like, he just keeps starting fires for fun, man. He'll just start like crazy companies, and he'll make them successful and he make billions, but he'll put himself in like impossible decisions just so he can squirm to get out of it. It's so crazy how he sets up his life, but it goes into why he's like that, whatever. But one of the things it was talking about is like how him or other billionaires paid hardly anything in taxes, right?
Yeah.
Or nothing in taxes, and what they did it. And so they have most of their wealth tied up in their stocks, right? In the Tesla stock or SpaceX, or what, SpaceX ain't public yet, but other companies that he has it tied up in, billions of their worth of stock. So he'll go to the bank and he'll say, "Hey, I need a loan for $10 billion. And I'm going to use 200 billion of my stock as collateral." And so if he defaults on the loan, they have a right to liquidate some of his stock to pay the loan. So the bank, okay, they get to, and he's getting it at a cheap rate because it's a good loan for him at 2 or 3%, whatever interest rate he's getting. He gets to borrow $10 billion just to live off of, or whatever, 2 billion, 3, whatever he needs just to live off for his daily life. And he don't have to pay taxes on that because it's debt. It's not income. He borrowed that money. It's sitting there, probably gaining interest, and he's paying back the bank with their own interest. You know what I'm saying? It's freaking genius. And he's not paying any taxes because all his money is tied up technically into the stocks.
Yep.
He didn't have to sell one stock to get that money. He just borrowed off of the stock.
Badass, man. That's how you gotta get, man. But it's all about financial intelligence, man. And speaking of savings, man, by the way, Capital One has some 5% high yield savings accounts. You just have some money sitting around, not doing nothing. Just have it sitting in there, and then until you deploy it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of those 5%, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, and get a 5%. Just let it sit there until you're ready to deploy it. Because I pulled all my money out the stock market, man. I put it all in an IRA for real estate. I was like, I want to take this gamble right now. Plus, I'm more comfortable. Less that I know. You know what I mean?
Told you the Fed knows what they're doing. They're bringing down inflation and they're making everything cheaper now, right?
Be nice if things would get cheaper because groceries.
How the house prices have cut in half. You saw that, right? Come on, Fed, you got this. Man. So I'll ask you a question because you had quit your job before and you went back to your job. Now, when do you foresee you quitting your day job again?
Once I have enough doors that are cash flowing me, paid off doors that are cash flowing me $20,000 a month. I'm only quitting on equity and the money that I have coming in a month guaranteed. I don't want the fluctuation of short term. Everything guaranteed, 20,000.
So when do you foresee that happening?
We trying to do it. We need 8 more doors. So we're trying to do 2 a year. So 8 divided by 2, 4 years. So what's that? 2027 is when we'll be at debt payoff. We think we can pay them off probably by 2037. It's about 15 years. And of course, when you set that 15-year goal, it might be a little bit earlier. But yeah, I'm retiring this time off straight cash flow, equity, and stuff that I have. Yeah, doing it that way this time. Because the fluctuations, I was like, I see why. Because my mentor showed me the game on that. He was like, how I retired. He broke it down how he retired. He said, I have X amount, 50,000 guaranteed coming in a month off my rentals. That doesn't change. I never touch those rentals again. Everything else I accumulate, and that's my other debt, and I can depreciate all of it. I was like, damn. So it's
Thatch win.
Yeah. Shout out to Thatch. Yeah, Thatch win.
So he kept his day job for all those years while he was.
He didn't have a day job. He was a realtor.
Oh, okay.
So he was a realtor, and then he just learned how to invest as a realtor. So he went that way. But he teaches you if you have a day job, That's your debt. He goes, a 9 to 5, if you're doing it correctly, that's your accumulation phase. You can accumulate properties. And I learned that too when I was off, because when I was off, one huge reason I was like, damn, thankful I went back to work. So interest rates spiked. But I was stuck because the only type of interest rate I could get was what? DSCR.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to do a refinance. They're like, yeah, man, we can do it 11%, 30 years. I'm like, this bitch ain't gonna cash flow at 11%. So I said, shit. So I went back to work. Mahogany went back to work. Mahogany, by the way, man, I forgot to tell you about Mahogany's badass job she just got. But so I'll talk about that here shortly. But so I went back to work, refinanced it. They're like, oh yeah, we can do 7.25. I'm like, shit, yeah. No, 7.125. So I was like, oh hell yeah. So I got a 3-4% decrease in interest rate just by being on 9 to 5. And now Mahogany starts her job in a couple of weeks. She's going to be working code enforcement.
Where?
Can't tell you the city, but she'll be working. I'll tell you offline. He said, where? Yeah.
I know. I want to go to that city.
You already know where I'm going with that. So I was like, hold on, they're going to do what? So I was like, shit, that's a 7-figure job. You know what I mean? If you know what you're doing. So I'm like, shit, yeah. Because one of the things when we were both off work, one thing we would do was to get properties, we'd go find this code violations, right? We'd have our VA pull code violations, pre-foreclosures. And I was like, damn, it was a lot of work. But I'm like, nah, they come straight to her.
Yeah. That's big time.
So, yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you offline what city it is. Yeah, it's going to be, she got that. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, hell yeah. So, yeah, we're all in the mix now.
And I know Feta and Mike Brown probably want to work with her too, because they're doing their thing.
With code enforcement?
Their company. No, their company is, they're doing the inspections for STRs, the safety inspections. Remember they're doing that?
Oh, okay. That, yeah,
maybe,
I guess it's kind of play in hand. Yeah.
Kind of, maybe, sort of.
Yeah, man.
That's cool. So you both got the 9 to 5s then. Yeah.
So now we actually, I don't want to do this, but I'm trying to find a BRRRR deal or a subject to or a subject to deal. Because so basically we told you we pulled all our money out the stock market and we have it sitting in the IRA. And the IRA is just like, go find the property. We'll pull the trigger. And the thing about an IRA is not in your personal name, but you can still get a good loan on it. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But it's in the IRA's name. So I'm trying to deploy some capital like that. So I'm trying to, at least, if I can get 2 doors out of it, but if I can BRRRR something or get like a sub 2 deal, I love that. Because speaking of Adam Johnson, I remember when he came on the podcast, he said he'll get a sub 2 deal and he'll help the person move, right? He'll catch them up, but he'll help the person move. But when he helps them move, he'll require them to pay him back on their taxes. I was like, damn, if I could get a deal like that. If I could get a deal like that, man. So, yeah.
He found his niche, though, and he's working the Adam Johnson, man. Shout out to AJ. He's the sub 2 guy. Now everybody's doing it, but he's been doing some big things in Tennessee for a while now. So that question came to mind because it's no longer like you no longer feel that your job is holding you back.
No, and the first time I left, I left like after I got sick. I left and I was like, man, I was like beat. Like I was really beat. I was doing too much at one time. I had doors in Houston, doors in Dallas, doors in Arkansas. I'm just like, oh man, I got all these doors. And then I had, Houston was going through its thing and it was just like losing money. So I think my first, 6 months, I think I ended up shutting those units down. It was one of those things. I was at my peak, but I made decisions that put me in a valley. And I read this book and he goes, what you do in your valley is what you get you to your peaks. What you do in your peaks is what puts you back in your valley. I was like, oh shit. I was at my valley but the thing about it was I was at my valley, but I was at my peak, but I wasn't grateful for it. So you have to. That's why every morning I journal what I'm grateful for.
Mhm.
So then when I'm at my peak, I'm still grateful for it. So yeah, it was an interesting thing, man. You gotta always, when you're at your peak, know what gets you to your peak. When you go to your valley, know what got you to your valley.
Mm.
So then when you're at your valley, when you're at your valley, when you're at your peak, you know how to stay there and not go back to your valley, because when you're at your peak, you sometimes you're not grateful for it. It's everything you ever wanted, but you look at the stressful side of it, it puts you right back in your valley.
That reminds me of the Elon Musk book on reading, man, because he like builds multi-billion-dollar companies, right? He's at the peak, but he don't it's like he's uncomfortable when times are good, right? He'll go start some mess just to make a mess, you know what I'm saying? He'll just be like, man, everything's going good, but we need to get a rocket to the moon in like 10 days. I'm gonna go tell him we need to get this done in 10 days. I don't care what's gonna happen. He'll go like on this rampage. You know, that's just one exaggerated example, but he'll go make mess and make drama just to stir up the mud. He just can't stay still and enjoy the view from the peak, man. He's the richest fucking man on the planet, but he's miserable. He's freaking miserable. He's got 11 kids with 3 different ladies.
He has 11 kids?
Yeah, he's 11 kids.
Oh, Elon out there talking about like that, huh?
He ain't stopping neither. He don't give a shit. But he's just he's just 100% obsessed with work and more, and he has like 5 different companies, multi-billion-dollar companies, and he just can't stop, man. He wants to do more and more and more. And
does it say he's miserable in the book?
He'll make with the book. Well, it'll say that he can't sit still if things are like going really well. You know, Tesla posting record profits, pumping out record cars, more cars than all the other automakers, and selling more cars. It don't matter. He'll go and choose something else that's really, really hard and try to pour half his fortune in it to make it work. He likes to put himself in the most stressful situations.
He sounds like Michael Jordan. He might be really competitive to where.
Oh, yeah, he's ultra competitive, big time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I remember remember that's why Michael Jordan, well, of course, the stuff with his dad, but you remember Michael Jordan left basketball, right? And went to baseball. It kicked his ass. He wasn't that good at it. But
he got good. He got pretty good at it.
Yeah, he got pretty good. He got pretty good, but then he went back to basketball, right? And then when he got back to basketball, remember in 95, he lost.
Yeah.
Then the next year, what did he do? Went 72-10, went on a fucking rampage. Like, I'm destroying everybody. But he had to challenge himself. Like, I remember Phil Jackson said this about the difference between Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. He goes, Mike, man, he's competitive about everything. He goes, man, you play Monopoly with the guy, he'll kill you if you try to kill you if you beat him, right? He was like, Kobe, man, he's like, Kobe's only competitive on the basketball court. Like, he just straight up loves basketball. And so he was like, that's the difference between you two. That's why I was like, it sounds like Elon Musk and Michael Jordan might have the same type of
that gene.
That gene. Like, you're just looking for a challenge. You might start up like Michael Jordan going to play baseball, like stupid as shit. You know what I'm saying? But he probably needed the challenge. Like, he ain't Deion Sanders out there. You know what I mean? Multiple athlete, Bo Jackson. You know what I mean? But it's just maybe he needed that challenge. And then that's another thing, though. When you do put yourself through those challenges, it builds your character. Well, I don't know if it built Elon's, but it builds some people's character. You know, if you put yourself through challenges.
It's a good book. You should read it. But
what's the name of it?
I believe it's just called Elon Musk. It's the newest one. It's the newest one that just came out. And it's just called Elon Musk. But what was I gonna say? You're just speaking about being like ultra competitive, like Michael Jordan, whatever, at everything, right?
Yeah.
And Elon's a big gamer. He when he's not running all the on the warehouse floor, making sure every single bolt and nut is perfect, and firing people because everything's not, when he's not obsessive compulsive like that, he'll like finally go home and then he'll be up till like 5 a.m. playing some freaking game on his phone or on whatever on his computer. He likes to play these
Call of Duty and shit.
Well, they named a few. He likes to play these like kind of like war kind of type game, building civilizations, fighting against other civilizations. He likes to do that kind of shit. And they named a few. I don't know any of those. I'm not really a big gamer, but he's he said one time, he gets really into it. I mean, he wants to win the whole freaking thing. He wants to beat the creator of these. He'll beat the creators of these games at their own games. It's crazy. He said he was playing this one game and with one of his wives he was with at the time, one of his ladies he was with at the time, and she was playing with them and whatever. And she thought it would be funny because they're like they're doing this combat mission, and she thought it'd be funny just to firebomb him from behind, just to fuck with him, and like he got so pissed that she did that. And she goes, "It's just a game. It's not just a fucking game." He like got real angry at this. It's just this, it's a video game, whatever. And he got so mad because she ruined the mission and just playing around. And so he's dude, he's off the charts, hyper competitive.
Yeah.
And he can't take it when things are good, when he's at the peak, and you looking, he's not comfortable there. He wants to start up a mess just to be more, maybe a bigger challenge. But you see, Michael Jordan, I mean, he's more chill now. He's not really. I guess he plays golf every day, but I don't know if he's still.
He still chases a lot. Like he does a lot, like team ownership. Ain't that good at that. But he does a lot. Like you could tell. And then he just sold his stake, I think, in the team, right? I think he had like a 200% profit, but like he might not be, but I think he's like, even if have you ever watched him at a kid's basketball camp?
Like
Michael Jordan. Oh, if you watch him on YouTube, man, he'll go full.
Oh, he was playing. That's so he was playing those kids. If I miss a shot, then y'all get Jordans, and he goes and makes every single shot.
He got that, and then like he has some where he'll play a kid, man, like. He'll go full speed on an 8-year-old, bro. You're like, yo, man. He'll fit little kid's character, though. But but some people do. If you read Tim Grover's books, Relentless, it really helps explain like that relentless mindset you kind of have to really, really push yourself to that next level. But it ain't for everybody. You know what I mean? Not everybody's built like that. So if it ain't for you, it ain't for you. But, and plus Elon, he might just be looking for another mountain to climb, right? He might peak out at Tesla. Oh, yeah, I don't know what that was. He might.
Yeah. Sorry. You did a thumbs up and then a bubble popped on my screen, like a thumbs up bubble.
I know.
Weird.
So basically he might, I don't know. He might climb to the top and look for another mountain to climb. You know what I mean? Maybe that mountain's video games. You never know. Like he's different type of dude.
Well, they do say to find your why in life, right?
Yeah,
to find your why. Well, he has a simple why. He wants to save civilization. That's his biggest why. And by saying that is bringing down the greenhouses and saving from climate change and all that. So that's what motivates him with the electric car side. He don't even care about the money apparently, but he's making a lot of money doing it. He wants to make things profitable so they'll be able to keep doing it. But his goal is to save mankind, save civilization by bringing back down the gas house effect and saving global warming, global climate change and all that stuff. And his other goal is to make humans interplanetary. So he has two big goals. So he wants to put humans on different planets in the solar system. And so he has pretty big goals. Us, what's our goal? I don't know, a few houses and kick back.
Me, I know my why. My why is like literally, I want freedom of I want freedom of choice. I want choice, freedom, option, and choice. Really, that's what I want, to have that option to do what I want. That's why I want the finance portion, but I really like to just be able to spend time with my kids, build them up, teach them just about community stuff, like be able to spend time with my kids and build them up, teach them about community, and then having them be able to create a community goal, being a part of community and helping civilization in that sense. But yeah, he has huge ones. But what it does is tells you the importance of having your why. Look at what he's accumulated just by having his why. You know what I mean? So that is very important to know your why.
But I mean, yeah, that is an extreme example, but it's a crazy book. Once you when you read that book, it'll put things in perspective for you. It's not going to motivate me to be like him, because anything I'm like, man, he seems, he just seems miserable, like stuck in his head all the time, like, but that's what gets him, that's what keeps him going. That's just a unique, situation.
Yeah.
And crazy today. I was outside, and not to diverge or go off into a different thing, and I saw down the street, like I saw this big giant dog walking around, right? And then I saw this car stop, and it happened to be a Tesla. Funny enough, and they're like, I thought they were stopping for that dog, but then they just started walking across the street, and I'm looking out, and there's like behind this car, I could see something. It looked like, oh snap, that's like someone laying on the ground on the concrete. So, I ran over there to see what's going on. And it was old man. I guess he went outside and he fell down, and he was just laying there on the ground, and his head was bleeding. He hit his head, right? So, we got him up. The wife came out. Someone knocked on the door. We picked him up, and then he's like, he came to, he's talking a little bit, just, oh yeah, he just like mumbling some stuff. But he was okay, and he's kind of helping us walk him. We were walking him inside. We set him on the chair. I guess that dog was his, and it was just roaming around right there. Good thing it was out there because someone stopped for the dog, but then saw him, and put him inside and everything. Just an old guy, right? And she's like, oh yeah, he wasn't. The wife's like, he wasn't supposed to be going outside, and so it makes me put things in perspective. I'm happy, he's okay. And then they called like an EMT to come out and check on him because he did bump his head, But I'm like, life is fragile, and we're all gonna get old. We're all gonna be that old one day. If we don't get hit by something, a bus or a car or something, we're all gonna get that old, and then we're gone, right? And then we're in the ground or whatever, and off to where the next plane of existence is, hopefully. And so, I mean, we stress so much about, especially this time in our lives, but the end game is the same for everybody. If you got 100 billion in the bank, if you got nothing in the bank, you don't take nothing with you. So live life, don't stress too much. Don't do too much where it's going to keep you in a stressful position, and be in the spot you want to be in, and enjoy it, man, because it's all going to come to an end.
See, and what you just said, you always circle it back, because what you just said is the reason why you have your why. What do you want to enjoy? What do you want to do? You know what I mean? Because that's what it's all about, man. If you enjoyed life, whatever it is that you enjoy, do it. Don't let no one else honker you down or nothing else. If that's what you want to do it. Enjoy your life.
So live, let, and thrive.
That is a good way to end the show right there. The last 30, we went off the deep rails a little bit, but we tied it all back in. Having your why. You got to have your why.
Yeah. Where can people find us, Micah, man?
You find us on Instagram, TikTok. Send us an email, liveletthrive@gmail.com. No, I'm sorry. That's our old one. You can still send it there, but info@liveletthrive.com, Micah@liveletthrive.com, Steve@liveletthrive.com. And please remember to hit that like button, subscribe button. We should have told you earlier in the show. Always remember to hit that subscribe button. Always helps us out. And thank y'all for continuing to listen to us. It has been an awesome 6 years, 7 years.
Yeah, something like that.
6 years, yeah.
And Thursday, so this is going to drop on Wednesday. Y'all going to be listening to this Wednesday. Thursday, the 26th of October, 2023. Our meetup, our Dallas meetup. Go find out online where it's going to be, in Dallas somewhere. Yeah, hit us up. Yeah, just email us. We give information. It's free. It'll be fun. Network and talk to the Live, Let, Thrive Mafia and have some fun.
Yes, sir. We are out.
Peace.
Later.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Live, Let, Thrive. Be sure to tune in next week for all the latest in the world of Airbnb and all that entails. Bye-bye.